The following is a presentation of Washington and Lee women's basketball on 91.5 FM WLUR Lexington. Now let's go live to the gymnasium. Here is Jeremy Franklin.
Welcome inside the Salem Civic Center here in Salem, Virginia, as we get set to cap off quarterfinal Friday in the 2019 Old Dominion Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Tournament. Our matchup tonight features the number 3 seed Washington and Lee taking on the number 6 seed Lynchburg. Jeremy Franklin with you. Richie Wagner joins us in just a moment. It has been a wild day in Salem. I think maybe the craziest quarterfinal day in the history of the ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament. Not an exaggeration. The number 1 seed is out for the first time ever at the quarterfinal stage. Guilford was beaten by Shenandoah. We had another overtime game between Randolph-Macon and Virginia Wesleyan. The Yellow Jackets, the defending champs, won that. And just moments ago, the number 2 seed got bounced as Emory and Henry, probably the prohibitive favorite after Guilford's loss earlier in the day, taken down by the number 7 seed Roanoke. So the Generals, who have yet to take the floor in the postseason, are already the highest remaining seed in this ODAC tournament, but playing a team that beat them twice during the regular season. Lynchburg, coming in as the 6th seed, finished 11-7 in the conference. They got the Generals in Lexington early in the year, won 68-60 on November 27th, and the return game at Turner Gym on the 7th of January, a 75-69 Lynchburg win. Tonight's broadcast of the ODAC basketball tournament is brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University Store, owned and operated by W&L. The University Store is located right on campus in Elrod Commons. The store features a wide range of apparel celebrating Washington and Lee, including the Peter Millar Collegiate Collection, offering polos and sweaters for your game day style. If you're looking for workout gear, we have a variety of performance apparel from both Nike and Under Armour. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic, alumni, and student programs. The store is open 7 days a week. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu. My partner for the weekend, as always, I think it's 12 years now, is former Hollins and Lynchburg head coach Richie Wagner. Will be with you throughout the weekend for the women's tournament semifinals tomorrow night, championship game on Sunday. You've been involved with this conference for a long, long time. Not to give any hints about your age, have you ever seen a day like we've seen today in the women's basketball playoffs?
Well, Shenandoah was able to do what I wasn't able to do probably about 15, 16 years ago, and that's to pull off the 8-1 upset. We'd never had it before in the league. I took a Lynchburg College team there. We had a tie game with about 56 seconds left and turned it over against Guilford when they were winning back-to-back ODAC championships. We weren't able to do it, but Shenandoah was able to pull that off earlier today in overtime. The second game went overtime as well, when each team, Virginia Wesleyan and Randolph-Macon, each looked like they were going to run away and hide. And then we just saw another big comeback by Roanoke. Down 4 late, came back to knock off the consensus number 1 seed. They were the number 2 seed, but I think everybody felt with their national ranking of number 19 and 2 in the South region that Emory and Henry was the favorite in this tournament, and now they're gone, so it's wide open.
Washington and Lee, again, the highest remaining seed, having yet to take the floor until now for warm-ups here at the Salem Civic Center. So Shenandoah beats Guilford 52-49 in overtime. Randolph-Macon outlasted Virginia Wesleyan 72-66 in an extra session. And then the final score, Roanoke 73 and Emory and Henry 72. 2 overtime games. Top 2 seeds are out. As you said, it is wide open right now. You've got a very young Washington and Lee team, a very young Lynchburg team, a very young Roanoke team among the squads that are still in the mix to win an ODAC title.
Well, when we came into the season, we had a coaching change right before the season. Coach Jenny Logan took the Eastern Mennonite job, left us at Hollins. Coach Emily Dunton came in on October 6th for the start of season on October 15th. And so I helped her out when she first got there and when we were going over the ODAC preseason poll. And you looked at the teams, Lynchburg, Washington and Lee, Roanoke, Guilford, all of them extremely young and talented rosters, and you thought maybe they would be a year away. And now here we are in this last quarterfinal game with 2 of these young teams, one of them a chance to move forward, and I dare say the winner of this game could probably and should probably be the favorite the rest of the way.
Washington and Lee and Lynchburg, here's the stat for you about the youth. 52% of the Generals' minutes have been played by first years this season. For Lynchburg, it's 45%. If you add in the sophomore class, underclassmen have accounted for 76% of playing time. Lynchburg does have a senior who they rely upon, though, in the first team All-ODAC selection, Molly Shepard.
And Molly Shepard's been there. She's been there with Abby for the, when you're getting into the NCAA tournament, advancing in the NCAA tournament. She has a lot of tournament experience. But on the other side, Taylor Casey has come in, and every year she keeps getting better and better. She's one of the elite players in the ODAC, so Washington Lee has a nice leader as well.
Molly Shepard, 15.4 points and 8.8 rebounds per game for Lynchburg. Top 5 in the ODAC in both categories. Top 10 in career scoring and rebounding for the Hornets. Taylor Casey, meanwhile, second in the ODAC in scoring at 17.1 points per game. But it's not a one-man show on either side. For Lynchburg, Maggie Quarles, all ODAC honors, named to the third team. She set the three-point shooting record in Lynchburg's biggest regular season win in conference play when they took down Guilford. And we see a lot of first years contributing, from Aaron Green and Kate Kolb in the front court to Lizzie Davis and Emily Elliott in the backcourt.
Absolutely. When we were down at Lynchburg, Hollins, we only played Lynchburg one time. We had a 7-point lead in the second quarter, looking good. Then we get to the third quarter, it's a close game, and Lizzie Davis scores 7 straight points and puts us away. So you've got first-year players that are capable of coming in and scoring in bunches. What I want to see here tonight, though, is it's an 8 o'clock game. Later than probably they've played any game this season, unless maybe in the tip-off tournament way back in November they had a night game. Other than that, it's the latest game. They've been sitting around. We're a little bit late. We've had overtime, another close game where we had a lot of timeouts. It's completely different in the routine. Which of these two young teams can come out in this atmosphere, which can be a little tough shooting background, and establish themselves early?
So we talked about some of the other players for Lynchburg. Beyond Taylor Casey for Washington and Lee, Erin Hughes named the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year brand new award for this season. She leads the conference in steals, also averages 12.4 points a game, landed on the second team. And Andy Smithy, who only played a little bit against Ferrum after missing several games at the end of the regular season, is back in the lineup tonight, third team all-conference selection. Those are the veterans, so to speak. Casey and Smithy are juniors, Hughes a sophomore, but the first-year class has really energized this program. For Megan Horn handling the basketball, Aaron Addison coming in to the backcourt, Jordan Dill on the glass, and Kate Groniger, another nice scoring option on the bench.
Absolutely. We just talked about it, how young these two teams are and how talented these young groups are. But I dare say it's going to be the more veteran players that are going to have to set the tone here in the early going. You love Aaron Hughes. At Hollins, we had the leading rebounder and leading shot blocker. Washington Lee had the leader in steals. Who was going to win Defensive Player of the Year? It was going to be should have been between one of those two players. And when you've got a player that can go out there and dictate the tempo on the defensive end by taking it away, creating easy shots, Aaron Hughes should be a huge key here tonight.
And someone who has been playing out of position essentially all season. Lynchburg has a lot of size. That seems to always be the case for Abby Pizek-Smith's team. Andy Smithy is really the only true post player for Washington and Lee. Aaron Hughes plays the 4 and the 5 a lot. She's a guard, but has adapted well to a different position on the court.
And what Andy Smithy gives you is she gives you a ton of energy. Right, she did it last year more coming off the bench, being a role player. Now she's been thrust into more of a premium spot, and she's answered the call. And the reason that she's done it is because the way you can be a good defensive player, the way you can be a good rebounder, is to have a good motor, so to speak, as they talk about in the NFL. She has a great motor. She goes from the time she comes in until the time she sits down, and you can't teach players that.
2 wins for Lynchburg in the regular season. The Hornets swept the Generals despite coming into the tournament as the lower seed, and now 9 straight victories in the series for Lynchburg. No one on this WNL roster, even senior Andy Corandi, has beaten the Hornets. There's a mental block, I think, that the Generals have to overcome tonight.
There is, but you're wearing the white uniforms. You're the higher seed, and you have to play that way. You have to come into the game with confidence. As far as you're concerned right now, it's 0-0, and you know what they say about good teams in a year. Can you beat a good team 3 times in one season? We'll see here over the next couple hours.
We're about to find out. Live coverage of the ODAC basketball tournament on WLUR and WLUR All Access. Glad to have our viewers on ODAConline.com. Jeremy Franklin alongside Richie Wagner. Again, if you are just joining us for this 4th quarterfinal, shame on you. You have missed an entertaining and historic day at the ODAC women's basketball tournament. Top 2 seeds are out. We had 2 overtime games for the first time in quarterfinal history. So it'll be Randolph making the 4 seed, the only team wearing white jerseys that's won so far today, against number 8 Shenandoah at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And then number 7 Roanoke awaits the winner of this one at 8 o'clock. Championship game at 3:30 on Sunday afternoon. just to step back for a moment and talk about the NCAA tournament picture, Emory and Henry was ranked second in the regional rankings. You have to think the Wasps are going to get in alongside whoever comes away with the AQ.
Well, I was just talking to my good friend Brian Harvey, who's the head coach at Ferrum, and he and I went to Roanoke College together, have known each other for a long time, and he was on the committee a couple of years ago, and we were just talking about it, the way you look at it on the committee. Strength of schedule matters. So that loss, because of the record that Roanoke has, maybe Roanoke didn't play the greatest schedule, but they've got a nice record.
18-9 now.
So that loss isn't going to hurt you as bad as long as the other people in the region kind of hold serve. Because guess what? Almost everybody except for your automatic bids, everybody's going to come in with a loss, and being that high in the South region rankings is going to put them in a really good position. Now, the thing that could come into question, had they won this game today against Roanoke, not only were they almost assured to be in, they were almost assured to host. That's going to be up in the air whether they're going to host the first round of the tournament next week. We'll find all that out on Monday.
Guilford 20-6 with the loss and came in at number 9 in the regional rankings. That would be a big stretch, I think, for the Quakers to get in, especially with Emory and Henry also losing and not getting the IQ from the ODAC.
Yeah, really the only way Guilford could have gotten in with an outside shot without winning the tournament was to get to the finals, lose to an Emory and Henry team that would have wrapped up that automatic bid, and then you hope for a little bit of carnage ahead of you in the rankings. But having served on that committee twice myself, it's all based on the numbers, strength of schedule, who are your wins against, who are your losses against, and trying to explain, especially to young coaches, go out and play good teams, because if you sit there and you play in sub-500 teams, it's not going to help your strength of schedule, and that's kind of what happened to Guilford. But Guilford, honestly, playing with a little bit of house money, talked to Coach Flamini earlier before the tournament started, really didn't expect to be the number 1 seed. They had a really nice season, but I really don't see a path for them from that 9 seed to get a bid.
But no seniors on the roster, not just in the rotation, but on the roster, period. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year. Let's take a look at the starting lineups as we get set for Washington and Lee and Lynchburg. First for Abby Isaac-Smith and the Hornets, 13-12 overall, 11-7 in the ODAC. We'll see Maggie Quarles, 5'7" sophomore from Roanoke, Holly Shepard, 5'10" senior from Charlottesville, Lizzie Davis, a 5'8" first year from Knoxville, Tennessee, Aaron Green, 6'3" first year from Poolesville, Maryland, and Carolyn Noe, 5'9" sophomore from Fairfax. For Washington and Lee and head coach Christine Clancy, 17-8 overall, 13-5 in the conference. They will send out Jordan Deal, 5'9" first year from Springboro, Ohio, Megan Horn, 5'11" first year from Basking Ridge, New Jersey, Andy Smithy, 5'10" junior from Charlotte, Taylor Casey, a 5'7" junior from Brentwood, Tennessee, and Aaron Hughes, 5'10" sophomore from Raleigh. What are you looking for early in this game, especially with so many young players on the court?
Well, you figure with young players in this shooting background, they had their shoot around, 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago, so really haven't been acclimated to this floor in game conditions. You look at the rebounding. Washington Lee averaging 37.5 rebounds a game, but they're averaging getting out-rebounded per game. And with the size of Lynchburg, if Lynchburg is able to establish some dominance on the glass, whether it's one and done on the defensive end securing the ball or whether it's getting second chances on the offensive glass, we want to see the battle of the boards to see who's going to get those easy baskets and those second possessions.
Generals are 8th in the ODAC, minus 2.2 rebounding margin. Lynchburg is 4th, plus 5.2. Generals in the home white, Lynchburg in road black, Megan Horn and Aaron Green on the tap as we are underway in this quarterfinal. Generals go left-right, the Hornets right-to-left in the first half. Aaron Hughes will drive in from the wing, get to the basket. Shot is deflected by Aaron Green, and the Hornets come away with the basketball.
And there's that Lynchburg size establishing itself early.
Loose pass at the other end, though. Lizzie Davis trying to feed Aaron Green, and the ball is taken away by the Generals, but now Quarles reaching in to get a piece of it, ties up Megan Horn, and it will go right back to Lynchburg on the arrow.
And so 2 possessions, we haven't had a ball get to the backboard yet. A little bit sloppy here to start, and that's kind of what we talked about in the beginning. Who is going to be able to calm their nerves and get a couple easy looks early?
Inside Shepard posting up on Horn and travels.
And she's lucky that they called the travel. Could have very easily been an offensive foul as she tried to do the up and under move. When she came back, she led with the elbow. They called the travel before the contact.
No score, 35 seconds in. Hughes on the wing out front to Megan Horn. Around a Smithy screen. Horn gets it to Smithy at the elbow. Smithy shot fake, trying to drive in on Green, leans in, uses the glass, and scores.
And that's a veteran move right there. How do you eliminate a shot blocker? You get into her body, and that's exactly what Smithy did on that possession.
First two of the game to the Generals. Quarles wing right side. Inside, Aaron Green slips her defender and ties the game.
And that's way too easy. You're going to have to double down, or you're either going to have to fully front the post and rely on your help side to be there on the weak side.
8:49 to play, opening period. Aaron Hughes on the left wing for the Generals. Works it out front to Megan Horn, who had 22 against Lynchburg the first time around, just 1 point in the road game. Andy Smithy going back inside the paint. Short jumper is up and good. First 4 points to the third-team All-ODAC selection. And then there is the Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Hughes, jumping the passing lane at the other end to knock the ball out of bounds away from Noe.
And twice you've seen Smithy get the ball. Twice you've seen her get it in that mid-post area, drive into the shot blocker, eliminate the block shot, and use her body well.
Noe missing the jumper from the deep right corner. Rebound to Horn.
You better be careful. That's her shot in the corner.
And the Hornets knock the ball out of bounds in transition. 4-2 WNL, 8:21 to play in the first period.
I think you want to look to go right back to Smithy here. Get her in that high post or mid-post area where she can put the ball down and make Green get down in a defensive stance.
Smithy was on fire before rolling her ankle in practice right before the Generals went down to Guilford 3 weeks ago. Here's Taylor Casey on the drive. The floater no good. Jordan Deal with the offensive rebound, though, and the Generals have a new shot clock. Aaron Hughes is open on the perimeter. Off target on the three, but another offensive board for Deal.
And that's a good sign right now for Washington Lee. A lot of activity on the offensive end, getting these extra possessions.
Deal is 6th in the ODAC in rebounding, 5th in offensive boards. And the jumper knocked down out front. The long two for Aaron Hughes.
And you can't give an 80% free throw shooter wide open elbow or free throw jumpers because they're going to knock them down.
And now Hughes with the steal, took it away at the foul line, gets to the other end, layup well short. Missed the bunny, and the rebound tracked down by Noe. It's 5-on-4 as Hughes went down after the play. Noe will stop on the wing, try to work it inside to Shepard, who makes a great catch on the tough pass and lays it in.
Nice job, and all young post players should take notice of that. She caught the basketball, did not put it on the ground, got it off the glass for an easy basket.
At the other end, Deal misses a contested shot against Green. Such a presence inside at 6'3".
But defensively, notice that Coach Posick-Smith's already made one adjustment. She's put Shepard now on Smithy to allow your shot blocker to come over and help side.
Another missed jumper for the Hornets. Noe from out front. Still 6-4 Generals. 6:50 to play in the period. Hughes left baseline. Has the ball knocked away by Noe. Almost had a clean steal, but it's out of bounds with the shot clock at 20. We'll see our first changes of the game. Aaron Addison, who started in place of the injured Andy Smithy, is on for the Generals. And Emily Elliott comes in for Lynchburg. Comes into Casey, left side three is up and good.
And I think you've got to go out of your way to give her some clean looks at three-pointers when she can get her feet set and shoulders square to the basket. When she does, she's an excellent three-point shooter, and that can create some gap with Lynchburg trying to score primarily on the interior.
Casey averages 2.2 makes per game from beyond the arc, 17.1 points. Inside it comes to Green. Nice finish from the low blocks. Good lob pass inside.
And Smithy went for the steal. When you go for the steal and don't get it, you put your defensive teammates in a bad position. There was no way anybody could get over and help side fast enough to stop the easy two.
9-6, Washington in lead. Just over 6 minutes left in the quarter. Andy Smithy away to Aaron Addison. Addison to Hughes in the high post. She'll fire the elbow jumper and hit.
Talked about that's 2 baskets that she's hit, both from that mid-range area where she's extremely effective.
Shepard at the other end. Another good pass inside. Aaron Green already has 6 points for the Hornets.
And right now, if you're Washington Lee, you may think about going to a little bit of a zone just to give a couple of different looks. They're getting it inside way too easily.
Aaron Addison missing a step-back jumper. And now here comes Davis for Lynchburg. Ahead to Quarles. Back to Lizzie Davis. Quarles again on the wing. And working right back inside, this time to Molly Shepard, who draws the foul.
And there's absolutely nothing you can do when you get pinned that deep underneath the basket. Dio got caught underneath the basket. The only chance she had was just to foul and not give up the easy basket.
Molly Shepard, the first team all-conference selection. Third all-ODAC honor of her career. Second team last year. Third team as a sophomore. First free throw on its way and good. 61% at the line this year. That's her third point of the game and the 1,094th point of her career. The 11th member of the school's 1,000-point club. She is now 28 points behind her head coach. Still 28 as she misses the second free throw. Kate Groninger just checked in along with Molly Mann for the Generals, who have it up by 2. Megan Horn on the right wing. Bullet pass inside for Groninger, but a great recovery and a block by Lizzie Davis.
And that was a great recovery by Davis. There was some confusion with the substitutions for Washington Lee that came in the game. There was some confusion on who was guarding who. Davis recovered late, but she got there just in time to block the shot.
And now a steal for Davis. Takes away the inbounds pass in the corner. Addison trying to get it back in midcourt, missed. Noe hangs on. Green has it top of the key. Lynchburg can tie with the 2, take the lead with the 3. Up top, it's Green. 12 to shoot. Away to Davis. Back out to Green, who launches the 3 off target, but the rebound saved in by Elliott. She got it to Davis. New 30-second clock for Lynchburg.
And Green has some range, but I don't think after the way she's been dominating up next to the basket, you want to take it a 25-footer.
Taylor Casey hit for a foul out front. Going for the steal. That will be her first personal. It will also take us to a timeout. 11-9, Washington and Lee with 4:43 to play in the opening quarter here in Salem.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Chris Pine. Children's Miracle Network hospitals are amazing places. It takes tremendous resources to care for sick and injured kids and to keep them smiling and laughing even during their toughest treatments. That's why donations are so very important. Please join me in supporting your children's hospital so every kid has a chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network hospital.
Two-point ball game just over 5 minutes into the opening period here at the Salem Civic Center. Last quarterfinal of the day in the ODAC women's basketball tournament. Lynchburg has it down 11-9. Davis from out front on the drive. Got around Hughes, but the layup well short. Maybe Hughes snuck back in, got a piece of that. It's out of bounds and will stay with the Hornets.
Yeah, and they got lucky right there because Addison got caught trailing the person coming around the person coming off of the curl screen. She was trailing her defender. Need to make sure she gets out in front of that to stop that penetration.
Molly Shepard goes down, and the ball trickles away, and it's out back to Washington and Lee. Good start for both teams. Haven't necessarily seen a lot of nerves that we might have expected with so much youth on the floor.
Well, I think the pace has helped that because when you get up and down the floor at the pace they're getting up and down the floor, you're not thinking. And when you're not thinking, you're just playing basketball. You're doing what you've done your entire lives. And there's something to be said about just getting out, getting your legs loose, and getting up and down the floor.
Aaron Hughes, oh, what a start. Buries the 3. Alex Allen, who just checked in, had a hand in her face. Already 7 points for Hughes. At the other end, Noe on the attack. Away to Allen, back to Noe. Corner 3 is up, she answers.
And that's her shot. Noe from the corner is where she's really adept at knocking down the three-point shots. That time was a little inside out with her and the post player.
Megan Horn on the drive. Layup is good, and a free throw coming. Great first step there by Horn to get to the rim, and she'll have a chance to push the lead to 5.
Fantastic. Took it with that left hand, blew by the defender, and laid it up off the glass and in.
Megan Horn averaging 9.4 points, 4.4 rebounds, 3.9 assists. That last statistic, the assist number, is good enough for 6 in the conference. It's the free throw to make it 17-12 with 3:52 to go.
And you love having those left-handed in-between players. They can play on the wing, they can play inside, because no matter how much you go over the scouting report, most times, more times than not, the defenders forget they're left-handed.
Another good entry pass to Green, this time from Alex Allen. Already the 4th basket for Aaron Green.
And notice she hasn't brought that ball down below her chin yet. She's over 6 feet tall. She wants to keep that ball high, and she's been schooled really well to keep it high and get it up off the glass.
Megan Horn trying to attack again, this time denied by Maggie Quarles, who gets the stuff. And the Generals will take it out with the shot clock at 21.
But you still love the aggressive nature right there. Take the ball to the basket. Keep this tempo going the way it's going, because right now the Generals are enjoying the edge because they're pushing the pace, pushing the tempo, and getting the ball to the basket.
Hughes off the dribble, pops another three. This one won't go. Off the back iron and then over the backboard. So back to Lynchburg, 3:19 to play. It's 17-14 Generals.
But as a coach, you don't mind that shot. You've got a player who's red hot right now from the outside. She knocked down the 2 mid-range jumpers, buried the 3. That 3 was right in front of her worst setting. It looked good the whole way, just a little bit long. Not a bad shot at all.
Here's Quarles on the drive. Hughes and Horn both in the way. The shot got blocked. The rebound squirts out to the Hornets. Noe is open on the wing, in and out on the 3, but Quarles grabs the rebound.
Well, we've seen this on both ends of the floor. Kind of a scramble situation on defense has led to offensive rebounds and extended possessions for both teams.
Noe will fire up another one, this time on the handoff from Allen out front. That's no good, but another offensive board for Elliott. However, the Hornets turn it over.
And that's what we've seen each time. We've seen both teams experience those possessions that are lengthy possessions because they're tracking down those loose balls.
3-point game, 2:34 to play. Aaron Addison, lob underneath, trying to throw the touch pass for Hughes. The Generals fortunate that it was last touched by Noe under the rim.
It was there. She just waited one step too long. She took the ball, and her first move was to put it down for a dribble. If she'd have caught it, gotten a triple threat position, squared her eyes up, she had that lob wide open.
17 to shoot. Horn will come into Hughes. Back to Megan Horn on the right wing. Smithy in the high post. Trying to attack on Allen, turnaround, 6-footer no, and Allen with the rebound.
Well, nice job that time. Allen was able to keep Smithy from getting into that arc circle underneath the rim and made it a little bit tougher shot.
Another great defensive play by Hughes. Elliott went right at her, and Hughes just took the ball away. Here's Casey in transition, pulls up and misses a mid-range jumper. And Shepard with the rebound for Lynchburg.
Took that one dribble too far. Noe was able to use her length to alter that shot just enough. If Casey would have pulled up, drawn the defender, she would have had either a better look at a shot or a dish inside to her teammate.
Still 17-14 WDL. Minute 47 left in the period. Comes inside to Allen, shooting over Smithy, and she scores.
And that was really good defense. Taylor Casey had dropped and taken away Molly Shepard because she wanted to make the pass inside. Instead, she reloaded and knocked down the shot.
Smithy posting up on Shepard, misses. Good defense as those two all-ODAC players go against one another. 1-point ball game, and the Hornets throw it away. This time the lob pass overshot and out of bounds.
And Shepard apologizing to her teammate right there. She had her wide open. She let the length of Smithy bother that pass. She should have faked it and made a nice bounce pass inside because the post player, Allen, was wide open.
Hornets do turn it over a fair bit, 11th in the conference. Maybe the biggest sign of how young they are. 76% of their minutes again accounted for by underclassmen. Inside, oh, what a terrific feed. Horn to the weak side where Casey was making the cut, and Casey lays it up and in.
And that was a great read by Casey. She could have come ball side, but that's where the defender was. She kind of did a flare cut to that back block, and Horn hit her in stride.
Aaron Hughes all over the place on the defensive end as per usual. Knocks away that pass from Shepard down low. 54 seconds left first period, 19-16 Washington and Lee. Lynchburg basketball coming into Maggie Quarles.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't give Hughes a little blow here at the end of the period because she's expending a lot of energy out there right now. And right now she's the best player on the floor.
8 on the shot clock. Noe stops at the elbow. Hughes knocking away that pass intended for Shepard. Here comes Jordan Deal. Generals will slow it down. Have a 3-point lead, about an 8-second differential between the shot and game clocks here. Taylor Casey well away from the rim. Sends it across to Deal on the left side. Now Hughes offering the screen, trying to screen and roll. Deal gets it inside to Hughes, and Shepard with the help defense takes the ball away.
Nice help side by the senior right there, and she didn't commit the foul. Lots of times you see people come in, reach in, and pick up that cheap foul.
7 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Elliott on the left wing. Open look at 3, but it's off target. Allen the offensive rebound. Stick back no. And Megan Horn grabs the basketball right as time expires in this first period. Good game going to close out a crazy day in the ODAC women's basketball quarterfinals. After 10 minutes of action, it's Washington and Lee 19 and Lynchburg 16. We'll come right back to Salem after a short timeout.
My name is Lola. Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Start of the second period here in Salem. Jeremy Franklin alongside Richie Wagner, 3rd seed Washington and Lee, leading the number 6 seed Lynchburg 19-16. Aaron Addison has it out front for the Generals, who start in possession, and she knocks down a long 2 off the dribble.
That was a great look right there. The defense went behind the screen. She stepped into that shot calmly. I saw the assistant coach talking to her after she missed a similar shot earlier in the first quarter. Nice confidence right there, stepped up and buried the 18-footer.
Aaron Green had 8 first quarter points to lead Lynchburg. Ball comes around to Maggie Quarles on the left side. 3-ball, no. And the rebound knocked out off of the Hornets. It'll be Generals basketball. They've got Casey, Addison, Deal, Smithy, and Andy Carandi, the lone W&L senior, out there against Green, Shepard, Quarles, Noe, and Davis. And a foul as Addison drives. Only 3 whistles in that first quarter. 2 fouls on the Generals, 1 on Lynchburg. That'll be the first personal on Maggie Quarles. Anything jumping out at you from those first quarter numbers?
Well, we talked about the rebounding. Right now, offensive rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds for Lynchburg, but 4 offensive for Washington Lee. They're holding their own. 8 Lynchburg turnovers has really prevented them from getting in any kind of rhythm. And here's your defensive player of the year, already has 5 steals.
And a traveling call. Jordan Deal got caught in the lane without her dribble. And that'll be the 4th Washington and Lee turnover.
Yeah, it's tough when you come in that lane. You pick up your dribble and you look and see a 6-footer with the wingspan of Aaron Green standing in front of you.
5-point ball game, 9:05 to play first half. Winner to get the number 7 seed Roanoke in the semis on Saturday night. Molly Shepard, the kick out to Carolyn Noe. 10 to shoot for Lynchburg. Noe out on the perimeter, gets it away to Green, who tries a 3. That will not go, and the rebound to Deal.
And if you're the Generals, you'll take that all night long. Green has killed you inside in the paint. If she wants to stand 25 feet from the basket, you're going to let her.
Good block by Green, stuffs Smithy 1v1. And now running the floor is Davis, challenging Addison, layup well, short. Green following the play, though, gets the offensive rebound and lays it in.
Yeah, she got that rebound and never brought it down lower than net level. There was no way anybody was going to knock that ball out of her hands. And now Green really taking over on the interior for the Hornets.
10 points already, 21-18. Smithy going back at Green, who blocks her shot again.
And she got lucky there. She left her feet. Very well could have been a foul called right there. She doesn't really have to jump to block shots because of the length. But that time she left her feet. Looked like to me that she may have come down on top of Smithy. She called a break.
Hornets have it down 21-18. Shepard up top. Pulls up at the foul line. Jump shot won't go, and Deal racks up another board.
But another possession where Washington Lee made the shot come from 16 to 18 feet away from the basket.
Aaron Addison transition pull-up knocks down the 12-footer.
And I think she's got a chance to be really good. She's got really good handles. You saw that hesitation dribble that drew the foul on a couple of possessions earlier. Now she stepped into 2 nice jump shots. Good start for her.
23-18 W&L, 7.5 left second quarter. Now a deflection for Addison, knocking that ball away from Davis on the sideline.
It drives me crazy. All your guards, they love to make that pass over the top. Fake a high, make a good solid bounce pass inside. Now you've got the defense at a disadvantage.
Spoken like a coach. Comes into Davis, hands off to Quarles. We see Brooke Veteran for the first time for Lynchburg. Into the lane goes Davis. She pulls up and knocks down a mid-range jumper.
And that's harder than it looks to come blowing by a defender and come to a jump stop, elevate straight up, and knock down a 16-footer.
Aaron Hughes back in, missing the jumper top of the key. The rebound to the Hornets.
That time she wasn't able to step into the three-pointer.
Megan Horn with the steal, though, in transition, and then she got taken down by Maggie Quarles, who will pick up her second personal.
And that was a good call right there. Quarles had come in from behind. She's actually the one that initiated the contact because the person throwing the pass to her put her in a bad way, and that picked up the foul on Quarles.
Quarles will sit Noe back in. Noe playing with Green, Shepard, Davis, and Vetter. Lauren Oakes in for the first time for the Generals, another member of that first-year class, along with Kate Groninger, Aaron Hughes, Megan Horn, and Erin Addison. Groninger gets it away to Addison, back to Groninger, who's a good three-point shooter, and she makes her first attempt from the left wing.
And right now, that's putting Lynchburg at a disadvantage because Shepard and Green, one or the other, is going to have to play a perimeter player, and that's not their strength.
Green on the drive, misses, gets the rebound, though, and follows that with two more.
Nice job there. She missed the first shot, but she stayed after it, continued to go towards the basket, and got the easy putback.
26-22 Generals, 6:23 to play. Megan Horn, right side three, nothing but net.
That was a huge three right there. You love transition threes. You push the ball down quickly, even on a made basket. You get it close to the baseline, and you kick it out to that trailer for the open three. That's a great three in transition.
Pace accelerating, 29-22. Lizzie Davis, nice drive, and the finish at the rim.
Right now, both teams scoring, but you're almost trading them 3 for 2 on those possessions, and Washington Lee able to build that lead up to 5.
Inside of 6 minutes left in the second period. Addison up top, pulls up, foul line jumper, hits another one. Goodness.
Absolutely feeling it. You can just see the confidence when she catches the basketball, that if you continue to go behind that screen, she's going to continue to pull up and knock down that 17 or 18-foot jump shot.
6 points all in this period for the rookie from Waxhaw, North Carolina. And then a travel at the other end. Davis called for steps while being guarded by Addison.
Nice job right there. Addison moved her feet, allowed the offensive player to get airborne, and when she did, she had nowhere to go when she came down.
Addison will get a break. Andy Smithy back in. 31-24 WNL. 5:33 left in the first half.
But I like that lineup right there. Essentially had 5 perimeter players, which was able to space the floor against those 2 big post players of Lynchburg.
Aaron Hughes driving in from the wing. Turnaround 10-footer, too strong. Better rebounds, and then Hughes looking for another steal. This time made contact with Davis and picks up her first personal.
Yeah, but you don't mind that if you're Coach Clancy, because right now you've got your best defensive player dictating the tempo out there. And what it does, even though it commits the foul, it allows you to get back, set up in your good half-court defense, and only 1 foul on Hughes.
By the way, just to clarify something that you just said about the Generals having 5 perimeter players on the floor, unless Andy Smithy's in the game, they will always have 5 perimeter players on the floor. That's the makeup of the roster for the Generals this year, but they have improvised and won 17 games without a lot of inside presence. Vetter misses on the drive. Green grabs the rebound, and we got a foul on the way back up that'll put Green at the line.
Yeah, I don't really know if she was shooting right there, but that's the first time in the first 15 minutes that Washington Lee has not moved their feet on the penetration. 3 players stood as Lynchburg took it all the way to the rim.
Under 5 timeout here in Salem. 31-24. Generals lead it with 4:55 to play in the second quarter.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off.
We'd do anything for kids, yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Aaron Green at the free throw line coming out of the timeout. Hits the first for the Hornets, already her 13th point. The first year from Poolesville, Maryland. Averaged 15.3 points per game during a 7-game stretch from mid-January through early February. Just 4 points in the last 2 games combined, but making up for lost time, it's both free throws and pulls Lynchburg to within 5.
And she's a tough matchup for Washington Lee. You talked about the size, the lack of interior defenders. She's a tough matchup. But right now, Washington Lee using that kind of mismatches to their advantage on the offensive end.
Nice pass from Horn to set up a Smithy layup, but she leaves it short. And here comes Noe for the Hornets. 31-26, 4:27 to play, first half. Shepard, deep right corner. Comes to Vetter. Vetter will get it to the foul line. Kick to Noe, who launches the three, misses from the wing, and Lauren Oakes grabs the rebound.
And a nice box out on a good three-point shooter. If you're not going to be able to close out and alter the shot, at least box her out and make sure she doesn't get that long rebound.
It's already 5 3 balls to Noe is fired up. She's hit 1 so far. Comes to Smithy, high post. Back out to Aaron Hughes. Comes around the screen from Smithy. Now a lob inside to the cutting Kate Groninger. Double team, kick to Lauren Oakes. Open jumper short from 15 feet away. And pushed quickly ahead, Davis to Vetter. And now the Hornets settle down. Still a 5-point ball game, 3:43 to go. Shepard gives it off to Vetter. Left side to Davis. Davis working baseline on Groninger. Tough pass for Shepard, but it bounces kindly to Noe on the wing, and this time her 3-ball is up and good.
That was unfortunate if you're a Washington Lee fan. That pass was intended for Shepard on the low block. It was so low it got tipped and rolled right out to a wide-open Noe, who calmly buried the three.
Megan Horn given space at the other end, steps up and sinks the triple.
Yeah, you just see Noe running back right there. She was just shaking her head. She closed out, had her hand in her face, but a nice shot right there for Horn.
34-29 WNL, just over 3 minutes to go. Shepard sets the screen for Vetter, kicks it over to Noe on the wing. Noe across to Davis, who's ready to shoot. 3-ball rattles out, rebounded by Smithy.
And I know Noe hit that three, but that's 3 straight possessions where a post player hasn't touched the ball in the paint for Lynchburg.
Megan Horn on the drive, but Aaron Green protecting the rim. Altered that shot if she didn't block it.
Green's about ready to run out of gas here. She's struggling to get up and down the floor at this pace.
Coast to coast goes Carolyn Noe, lays it up to make it a 3-point game.
And that's what happens when you hit a couple of three-pointers. They have to come out and close out to you hard out on the perimeter, and she just took it right to the basket with the left hand.
34-31, 2:21 to play. Andy Smithy up top. Not a threat to shoot from there. She'll kick it over to Hughes. Hughes gets right by Shepard, and another block for Green, and then the rebound bounces off the shoulder of Hughes while she was standing on the baseline.
And that's what you want to see out of your shot blocker. They're always in help side. They're always ready to come over. And like I talked about earlier, she does not have to leave her feet. She can control her body by staying on the ground and just have that wingspan and tip the ball. That time she tipped it right off the shoulder of Aaron Hughes.
Hornets get it to Shepard at the right elbow. Away to Vetter. Left side, Davis. Pass inside, deflected by Addison, but then Smithy was tangling up with another of the young post players for Lynchburg. That's Kate Kolb. And Smithy is called for her first foul. It's the 3rd team foul on the Generals here in the second quarter.
But a better offensive possession for Lynchburg that time. They were able to get the ball inside twice. Shepard and Kolb were able to get touches in the interior.
Kate Kolb had a career day in the Hornets' home win over the Generals. We got a double dribble call on Lynchburg. Kate Kolb in the game at Turner Gym, 21 points, 9 of 11 from the floor to lead Lynchburg to a 75-69 victory.
And that's the advantage we talked about that Lynchburg has. Those 3 really big post players inside. They're tough matchups for Washington Lee.
34-31 Generals. And a turnover here forced by Davis as the ball rolls off of Aaron Addison's foot.
And that's unfortunate. Rolled off Addison and then hit the official who happened to be standing out of bounds. It looked like Addison was going to be able to corral that loose ball. Unfortunately, hit the official who was out of bounds, and that possession will go to the Hornets.
Noe on the right side gets it to Kolb out front. Away to Vetter. Vetter off to Lizzie Davis. Davis on the attack, gets by a couple of defenders, misses down low, but Shepard there to clean up the stick back. Just her second field goal.
And that's what penetration does. It has to make the defense rotate. When the defense rotate, the weak side's always going to be open for an offensive rebound.
WNL clinging to a 1-point lead. The Generals' 3 leading scorers, Casey, Hughes, and Smithy, none of them have scored in the second quarter. Casey's got it up top. Shot clock at 11. Game clock about to hit 1 minute. Away to Hughes. 7 to shoot. Hughes driving in on Shepard. And a whistle and a foul. Aaron Hughes will head to the line.
And that's the difference what Shepard did versus what Green was doing. That time Shepard came down with the hand instead of just kind of flicking the wrist and taking the care of the shot at its apex. She came down across the body, and that's an easy call for the officials.
Aaron Hughes at the line this season, 80.3%. First one is good. Ranked 6th in the conference in foul shooting. The Generals as a team are number 1, 73.6% on the year. 56.8 seconds to go. Hughes will try to push the lead back to 3, and she'll do exactly that, 36-33.
I think that's Hughes' first 2 points after that hot start she had in the first quarter. So you're hoping just her seeing the ball going back through the basket is going to get her back on track on the offensive end.
Davis on the wing for Lynchburg. Foul away from the basketball, going against the Generals. I believe that'll be number 2 on Megan Horn.
And that's what's changed over the years. Used to, that was what we taught, bumping the cutter, physically coming in, putting a forearm into that cutter's chest. They've eliminated that. They've tried to clean it up. You can be there, but you can't initiate the contact, and that's what Horn did. 10 years ago, that's a really good defensive play.
Inside, Shepard posting up on Aaron Addison. Big height advantage there for Shepard, who draws the foul. And she'll shoot 2 with 39.7 seconds left.
Yeah, there was a little bit of confusion inside that time. Addison was in there along with Mann. Mann, the bigger player, was supposed to pick up the post player Shepard, and unfortunately Addison got caught inside.
First free throw good for Shepard, her 6th point. 4th in the ODAC in scoring, 15.4 a game. Looking to pull the Hornets back within 1 with 39.7 seconds left in the half. Foul shot good as well. It's 36-35. Taylor Casey for the Generals. Around a man now to Addison. Addison driving in from the wing, gets to the rim and lays it up and in. 8 second quarter points for Aaron Addison.
And I don't think Lynchburg has a guard on the roster that defensively one-on-one can stay between Addison and the basket. They're going to have to give her some space, but since she's hit those 3 18-footers, and now here she is with the steal, it's tough to guard her in the open court.
And fouled in transition with 13.1 seconds to go. Jumped the passing lane there, and Addison heading to the line.
And that's what you want to see right there. She's attacking the rim. She knocked down those first couple of jump shots. She's reading it perfectly right now. Defensively, she read the passing lane, jumped the passing lane. Offensively, when she comes off of that high ball screen, she knows she can take her player to the basket. If she goes over the screen, if she goes underneath the screen, she's stepping up and knocking down the jumpers.
First free throw is up and in for Addison. 73% foul shooter, trying to stretch the lead to 5. Again, though, still 13 seconds left for Lynchburg. Second shot, good. A double-digit second period for Addison.
And this is what I like to see. Put some pressure on them. Try and burn time. Don't let them walk it down the court.
And Taylor Casey with a steal and a layup with 5 seconds to go. Took it away from Elliott.
Yeah, that's a huge last 30 seconds of this half. Washington Lee able to add 4 points to their lead by virtue of the free throw line and then good full court pressure defense.
And they are fired up as they leave the court here in Salem. The Generals up 42-35 at the break here against Lynchburg. Halftime in our final quarterfinal. We'll take a break. If you're listening on WLUR, we'll be back with a conversation with the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Hughes.
The Rockbridge Area Health Center is a community health center providing family medicine, pediatrics, women's health, dental, behavioral health, and prenatal services to uninsured, underinsured, and insured residents of Rockbridge County and the surrounding areas. Our AHC's current building expansion will allow us to better meet the needs of our community. The health center offers a variety of discount programs, including help with the cost of appointments and prescriptions. For more information, visit rockahc.org or call us at 540-464-8700.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Halftime here at the Salem Civic Center. Washington lead number 3 seed in the ODAC women's basketball tournament, leading the number 6 seed Lynchburg 42-35. Aaron Green has 14 points for the Hornets to lead all scorers, but Aaron Addison with a 10-point second quarter for Washington and Lee. 9 apiece for Megan Horn, and our halftime guest, Aaron Hughes, just named second team All-ODAC and the inaugural recipient of the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year award. Earlier this week, she joined me in the WLUR studio. Joining me now is WNL sophomore Aaron Hughes. Aaron, thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the regular season. A lot of great accomplishments for the Generals. You go 17-8. I'm not sure if you're aware, but third place is the highest the WNL's ever finished. It matches the best that the Generals have ever done in the ODAC in the regular season, especially with so many young players, yourself included, seeing major minutes. How pleased have you been with the year so far?
It's been so much fun. I mean, coming into the season, we were pre-ranked 8th. All of us saw that, and we were like, I don't know about this. It kind of lit a fire in us, and we were kind of determined from the beginning that we were going to prove ourselves. And so throughout the season, we've just said, take one game at a time. Whoever's in front of us, that's our focus. I think we all knew ODACs was something that we had in our heads of a goal to work towards, but I think we really dedicated ourselves to every single game being focused on that game. And it worked because, we finished regular season 3rd, got a good seeding in the tournament. And so I think the freshmen have done an incredible job of stepping up, and they're such a close group. Everyone on campus jokes that, if you see one of them, the 4 of them are following them. And so I think that in general, just that closeness that they have, they've been able to carry that over to the floor. And I think it's radiated to the team, and all of us are so close this year. And I think getting excited for each other and playing with each other is really what has made this team so great and so much fun to play for, because when you're playing well, you're playing for everyone around you, and I think that's the key to our success.
It's an unusual situation as you get set for this ODAC quarterfinal. You're the higher seed, but you're playing a team that beat you twice during the regular season. 2 very competitive games with Lynchburg. What are the keys to changing the result, getting the win the third time around?
So, I think Lynchburg has historically been very talented, and I think that some of the older girls, and it's carried throughout, but this mentality that Lynchburg is so great, and for some reason it just kind of stumps us, and we get to those games and we just kind of feel like they're better. But I don't think that's the case necessarily, and I think that we've shown that we can be very competitive with them, and I think that, if we can carry that through for 40 minutes, I think that we should be able to beat them, because there have been games that they've lost that against teams that we've controlled very handedly and beaten by a lot. And so I think that, if we can just stay confident and stay true to who we are in our program and not let all the outside noise get to us and their historically successful program get to us, I think that we should be able to come out and make a run in the start and just kind of take care of that lead. It's going to be a tough battle, but, tournament time always is. It's always scrapping for loose balls, and every extra possession counts. And so I think it's just going to be a matter of staying true to the WNL program that we've built this season and, carrying that throughout the whole 40 minutes.
You've had a very productive sophomore campaign, second on the team in scoring. Did you anticipate having such a big role this early in your career?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. The team always jokes that I'm very confident. That's just kind of how I am. And I think I always had it in my head that I wanted to be a leader on this team, and especially knowing that there were 5 seniors graduating and 5 new people coming in, I always knew that I wanted to take a leadership position on this team. I didn't necessarily know that would transfer over into points, but I started this season a little rough, and then I just kind of was like, you know what? I need to step up. I need to be here for my team, and I think just everyone starting to play together and finding a rhythm, I think it allowed me to be in a position where I could be the second leading scorer. But although that's the statistic and those are the averages, any given game we've had people score 20 points. So it's not really, I don't think our averaging points are indicative of how talented this team is. And we've had girls score 20. We've had weeks where one person will score 2 20-point games, and the next week someone else does it, and the next week someone else steps up. And so I think on our team, it doesn't really matter who's scoring, because at any given, we've had games where we've had 5 or 6 people in double digits. I think that's the fun part of it. And so even though if you look at the stat lines and you see I might be averaging more, I don't think that's indicative of who's been stepping up and who's been playing really well for us, because I think we're very talented, and I think that, I'm glad that I've been in that position where I can lead, but I think that as a team, we've done phenomenal this year of sharing the ball and getting points throughout the team. So
you're a guard by trade. Because of the composition of the Generals roster this season, you have often played the 4, sometimes even the 5, especially on the defensive end. It seemed like there was an adjustment period for you. Are you a lot more comfortable with that now than you might have been in November, December?
Yeah, so throughout my basketball career, it's actually been kind of crazy because when I was, 5th, 6th grade, I was one of the bigger kids. And so I learned from a young age how to play the post and how to be tough down low. And then going into high school, I stopped growing and everyone else started growing taller than me. And so then I was like, well, I guess I have to readjust. And throughout high school, I had to learn how to be a guard. And then when I got here, that's the role I took on. And then we graduated 2 post players, and Andy Smithy has struggled with a ankle injury. So I had to learn how to guard the 5 again. And I mean, there's some big girls in the ODAC, and there's some strong girls. And so it's just been a very different way of guarding them. And I've learned just kind of like getting in front, trying to get steals off them traditionally they're a little slower, and so I can tend to use my speed again to help me. But yeah, it's been fun to kind of go back to that because that's what I started being most comfortable with, and it's kind of fun, and it leads to lots of mismatches offensively. But I think, bumping and banging is something that I've always enjoyed doing, so I'm kind of glad. But yeah, it was definitely an adjustment at first because there's some girls that are 6 feet plus, so my 5'10" self being in there, I think I'm taller than I am, but there is a little bit of a gap. So just trying to use my quickness and my speed to get around and release contact and use different strategies so that they can't just body through me and outpower me. So
I know the Generals are focused on what they can accomplish this weekend in Salem, but looking more at the long-term picture, how excited are you to be a part of this program, see what W&L can accomplish over the next couple of years?
I'm so excited. I mean, having these 5 freshmen come in and having girls around me who are just basketball IQs are so high, and like just this eagerness and this wanting to win. And I mean, I'm very excited for next year because when you look at people returning, like you see teams that have mostly seniors and juniors starting, and I'm like, we have no one that's a senior. We have juniors, like no one is a senior starting. And so when you're looking at just lineups, I mean, the potential that we have is crazy, and we're bringing in a pretty good class next year. And I just think that it's exciting because for the first time, like ODAX is like actually attainable, and NCAA runs, and I mean, there's 2 more years that I could, really have a good core group, and I'm excited because when there's going to be a new gym. Like there's all this excitement that's ahead, and I'm very pumped because I think that we've showed the ODAC that we're a competitive team, and teams are starting to be scared of us, and that's what I want. It's very exciting.
Aaron Hughes is very excited, especially about the way that first half finished for Washington and lead the Generals with 6 quick points at the end of the second quarter, and they lead Lynchburg 42-35 at halftime of the ODAC Women's Basketball quarterfinals. You're listening on WLUR Lexington 91.5 FM and WLUR All Access, powered by First Team Broadcasting. Second half comes your way in just a moment.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek. This cheek. Then go to giftoflife.org and request a free kit so that you can swab a cheek and save a life.
You just heard this exact message without the s and s. If that was to understand, imagine your local hospital was missing the LD types. Schedule to redcross.org. You just heard this exact message without the A's, B's, and O's. If that was hard to understand, imagine your local hospital was missing the A, B, or O blood types, and a loved one was in desperate need of a blood transfusion. Schedule to donate at redcrossblood.org.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Welcome back inside the Salem Civic Center. Jeremy Franklin alongside Richie Wagner for our coverage of the ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament quarterfinal number 4. At the end of what has been a crazy day here at the Salem Civic Center. Number 3 seed Washington and Lee leading the number 6 seed Lynchburg 42-35. We can't have 2 higher seeds win in the same day, can we?
Well, I think we can. I think it's legal. I really do. I mean, this is my 31st consecutive ODAC basketball tournament I've worked in some capacity. Statistician, assistant coach, head coach, broadcaster, I mean, in every kind of capacity. And this has really been the craziest day. For years, we always talked about how any team could win. And that was kind of wink, wink, nod, nod. There were usually 4 or 5 teams that you thought were capable of winning the tournament. But right now, with these 2 teams and the 3 teams that have already advanced earlier, there would be no surprise if any of those 5 teams went on to win this, Sunday afternoon.
Again, both of the top 2 seeds are gone. Number 1, Guilford, the regular season champ, knocked out in overtime by the number 8 seed Shenandoah, 52-49. We had another overtime game following that. Number 4 seed and the defending champion, Randolph-Macon, beat the number 5 seed Virginia Wesleyan 72-66, and the number 7 Roanoke stunning number 2 Emory and Henry 73-72. So it'll be Shenandoah and Randolph-Macon at 6 o'clock Saturday, and Roanoke against the winner here. Looking at this game by the numbers, the Generals shooting 44% from the field. Lynchburg also at 44%. W&L 16-36. Lynchburg 14-32. Lynchburg plus 12 on the glass, 25-13, but minus 8 in turnover differential, 13 giveaways. And Washington and Lee just had the 5. Aaron Green with 14 points, Carolyn Noe 8, Molly Shepard 7 for Lynchburg, 10 for Aaron Addison, 9 apiece for Megan Horn and Aaron Hughes, and 7 for Taylor Casey. Keys to the second half for these 2 teams?
Well, I think one of the big keys is Aaron Addison. She came in. She's accounted for 7 of the 16 made field goals for Washington Lee in the first half. And what was evident about midway through that second period on, Lynchburg really doesn't have a defender that one-on-one can stay between her and the basket. So I think that's a big key. On the flip side of that, can you continue to go to Green and Shepard inside? Because if they can chip away at this lead, use that rebound advantage. But they're going to have to take care of the basketball. Washington Lee doing a good job right now, an excellent job actually, of turning over Lynchburg and then converting that into scoring opportunities.
7 field goals accounted for by Addison, 4 of 5 from the field, and then 3 assists without a turnover. Washington Lee is trying to snap a 9-game losing streak against the Hornets. Have not beaten Lynchburg since February of 2014, only 1 win in the last 13 meetings with Abby Pyzik-Smith's team, which won the ODAC title in 2016, lost in the championship in 2017, but made the NCAA tournament in both of those seasons. The Generals, the upstart here, trying to make it to back-to-back ODAC semifinals for the first time since qualifying for 3 straight from 2010 to 2012. W&L won its lone ODAC title in 2010. Lynchburg ball as we're back underway here in the 3rd period. Quarles, Shepard, Davis, Noe, and Green, the starting 5 out there. And here's a drive in by Lizzie Davis, who finishes at the rim, takes away the inbounds pass, gets it to Maggie Quarles. It's 2-on-3 for a moment, and the Hornets will pull it back out, but a bucket and a steal, and they've got it down by 5.
It's like I talked about earlier in this game when I was down to watch Hollins play at Lynchburg earlier this season. Lizzie Davis scored in bunches, and that's how Lynchburg was able to pull away and win comfortably that night.
Another layup for Davis, so bucket, steal, bucket for Lizzie Davis. Christine Clancy will take an early timeout. We'll keep it right here 9:25 to play, and that 7-point halftime lead is right down to 3, and the Generals have barely touched the ball.
Well, right now, what Washington Lee was doing earlier, right? They were turning them over, converting that into baskets. When it's been a half-court game, Lynchburg has had a little bit of an advantage when it's not been that up and down tempo that we've seen. So right there, Lynchburg came in and they made a little change right there, which I was kind of surprised. I thought they would go high-low with the post players. They brought both post players double high and allowed Lizzie Davis to take her player of the basket, and then a really heads-up play after she scored to come up with the steal and then score again, 4 straight points, and now we've got ourselves a ball game.
Things happen when Lizzie Davis is involved. The first year from Knoxville has committed more turnovers than anybody else in the ODAC this season, but is also 8th in assists. She's going to make plays one way or another.
And you don't mind to see that out of a young player. You know, you want to see them go out there and you want to see them play fearless, because the sooner they can learn to play at ODAC strength and ODAC speed, the better player they're going to be.
Great start to the second half for Davis and the Hornets. Within 3, 9:23 to play. Casey, Horn, Deal, Hughes, and Smithy are the 5 and 4, the starters for Christine Clancy's Washington and Lee team. Megan Horn hits the cutting Casey, lost it off the dribble, just rolled off her leg. And so 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for a team that takes better care of the basketball than anybody else in the conference.
And great defense right there by Noe. She saw the play coming. She waited for Casey at the block, and the pass was actually led into the defender. Casey really had no chance at coming up with that ball.
Davis on the left wing. Sends it out to Green on the perimeter. Skip to the corner to Noe. Inside for Shepard. Got away from Hughes. Missed wildly. Davis there for the weak side rebound. Her shot is no good. But we have a whistle and a foul. Was that on the shot or on the rebound? A very late call if it's on the shot, but that is the call.
I know we had a lot of bodies between us and the action right there, but I didn't see anything personally. I don't know what that was. I mean, if you've been with us all day long, you've seen a whole lot more contact than that go without a whistle.
Lizzie Davis is at the line. It's the second personal on Jordan Deal. Davis knocking down the free throw. She's on a personal 5-0 run to begin the half, and she can pull Lynchburg to within 1. And does exactly that. Got the roll. It's 42-41.
And just like that, Davis in double figures. I talked about it, how she can score in bunches, and that's what she's done to come and make this a tight one here in the opening stages of the second half.
13th time that she's scored in double digits during her rookie campaign. Hughes on the perimeter, hits the cutting Casey, floats it up, no good. Jordan Deal ends up with the rebound, tries to get it to Casey in the corner, and it's knocked out by Lynchburg. The Hornets all over the place on the defensive side right now.
And nice cut by Casey. She was able to get to the basket again, but that length of Lynchburg, Green stepping over in the help side, altered that shot. But now Washington Lee, another second chance opportunity, see what they can do with it.
Smithy caught at the elbow, sends it back out to Deal. Horn in the corner, fires up the 3, no good. Aaron Hughes with the rebound, and Noe got in there to block the putback attempt. Here's Quarles in transition. Feeds Shepard inside, no. Shepard got the rebound and got fouled. Just a lot of energy right now for Lynchburg.
Right now the size and strength of Lynchburg kind of is dictating the tempo this first 2 minutes of the second half. Right there, another chance for Washington Lee to drive into the basket. Noe was straight up with the hand. Looked like maybe she would have had a little hand on the waist. Was a no call, but was able to get another block shot, and that led to a transition opportunity. And when we talk about post players and being good half-court players, how much of an advantage of it as you've seen here throughout the first half of Green and Shepard, ability to run the floor and get second opportunities in transition. That's huge.
Shepard hitting the first free throw to tie the score. The second one good. It's the first lead of the game for the Hornets, 43-42. They've scored the first 8 points of the second half.
And you had to get Addison in quickly. She was the game changer in the second period. She started out the second half. You went back to your original starting lineup, but you've got to go to the hot hand.
Almost another turnover for the Generals. Addison grabs a loose ball at midcourt. 13 to shoot. Addison around a screen. Pulls up. 12-footer, no. Rebounded by Green. And here come the Hornets again. 2 Generals took each other out in the play. Lynchburg with numbers, but Quarles fumbles the ball, and it rolls out back to Washington and Lee. 7:40 left in the third. Lynchburg up 43-42.
A little bit of a mistake there. Quarles didn't catch the ball and get in that athletic position. She tried to go a little too quickly and rolled the ball off her knee.
Generals looking for their first points of the second half. Megan Horn on the attack against Quarles, gets to the rim and scores. What a big hoop that is.
It was a huge hoop, but she was really fortunate. She pushed off with that right arm all the way down the lane to get free for that left-handed layup. Quarles might need to take a flop next time and see if she can draw that offensive foul.
Horn with 11. Generals up 44-43. 7:12 to play in the period. Noe out top. Left corner, Quarles. Quarles handing off to Carolyn Noe. Away to Quarles. Right side, Davis, 8 to shoot. Inside, Shepard backing down. Hughes got great position under the rim, and she scores.
And how did she get her the ball? Bounce pass. That's what I've been talking about. You try and catch the ball, you either go right or left around the defender, spin that bounce pass in there, and it's an easy catch and shoot for your post player.
Quick shot for the Generals. Hughes misses a jumper. Lynchburg has it up by 1, 6:40 to play. Davis gets the handoff from Noe, cycles back out to call the play. Bounce pass ahead to Shepard at the right elbow, squares to the rim. Driving it on Hughes. Casey in the vicinity as well. Shepard misses, and a good strong rebound in traffic by Hughes.
Great help side defense by Taylor Casey that time. She stepped over and helped Hughes. Didn't reach in. She was willing to sacrifice her body and draw that charge, but she altered the shot and gave the possession back to the Generals.
Jordan Deal hands it off to Horn. Ahead to Hughes. Shepard this time reaching in and giving Aaron Hughes a taste of her own medicine with the steal.
Yeah, pass came into the wrong side. She had her sealed on the left side. The pass came into the right and was an easy knock away for Shepard.
Noe's open. Buries the left wing three. Lynchburg up by 4.
And this media timeout's coming here in about a minute or so, but I don't know if Lynchburg continues on this roll if you're not going to be able to take another timeout. You can't let this game get away here at the midway point of the third period.
13-2 Hornets in this quarter. Here's Erin Addison driving right by 2 defenders and lays it up and in.
Great play. I really think she's unguardable right now in the half court. If she takes care of the basketball, she can get inside all day long, and if she doesn't get the ball up to the basket, it's going to draw the post players and allow for some easy mid-range looks.
Addison with a dozen, 48-46 Hornets. Shepard gets it inside, fouled before she can go up for a layup attempt. That'll be the second on Aaron Hughes. 13 foul on the Generals. Andy Smithy, Andy Carandi back in for Washington and Lee. Emily Elliott and Alex Allen. Some alliteration on the floor for Lynchburg.
And that's the look I like from Lynchburg right there, that high-low post, post-to-post pass, because what that does is it draws one of the bigger players away from the basket, and you're able to get a one-on-one in the interior.
Davis driving again, another take and another tough two for Lizzie Davis, who's got 8 points in the period.
I think she watched Addison there in the second quarter, saw how she was taking it to the hole, and she's decided to do it here in the third.
Smithy has it high post, kick out to Taylor Casey. Casey off the dribble, gets under the rim, feeds back out to Horn, who's open. Right side three is up and good.
Great job right there. She didn't have her feet set, so she didn't shoot it right away. She caught it, cocked the basketball, got into a good shooting rhythm, and now here's a steal for Washington Lee.
Erin Addison took it away, saved it into Casey. Generals have it down 1. Addison handing off to Smithy at the foul line. And she'll get it back out to Casey. No, fake the pass that way. Now Smithy's caught. Needs some help. Gets it away to Addison. 10 to shoot. Addison, step back 10-footer, no. And the rebound to Green.
And that time a good job defensively by Coral. She moved her feet, beat Addison to the spot, and didn't allow her to get all the way into the paint.
50-49 Lynchburg. 4:17 left in the third. Elliott on the left side for the Hornets. Out front to Davis. Again, puts it on the deck. Gets inside. Floats it up. No. Green with the rebound. And Carandi fouls her to prevent the easy layup.
And that's what I was talking about with Addison penetrating and the defenders having to help out. It allows for open positions. That is exactly what happened on that possession right there. Lynchburg drove it in, drew the defense, and the post player was wide open on the low block.
Free throws for Aaron Green when we come back. 1 point Lynchburg lead with 4:09 remaining here in the third quarter.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Chris Pine. Children's Miracle Network hospitals are amazing places. It takes tremendous resources to care for sick and injured kids and to keep them smiling and laughing even during their toughest treatments. That's why donations are so very important. Please join me in supporting your children's hospital so every kid has a chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Aaron Green at the free throw line for Lynchburg. Roanoke with the upset over Emory and Henry. The Maroons' leading scorers were Whitney Hobson, Ayanna Scarborough, and Renee Alquiza, 3 first years in double figures. The 4 leading scorers in this game as Green hits the first free throw. Green and Lizzie Davis for Lynchburg, Aaron Addison and Megan Horn for Washington Lee, all rookies as well.
We talked about it earlier. Green started out hot and they was able to get Lynchburg the lead. Then Addison and Horn took over, and now it's been Lizzie Davis. So which first year is going to step up next?
Davis forcing it down low. It's knocked away. Green missed the second free throw, but Alex Allen with an offensive rebound. And the Hornets have possession with the shot clock at 18. Now in front 51-49, 3:56 left in the third. Lob in for Green, just catches it and lobs it over Carandy, but misses the short jumper, and the board to Kate Groninger.
But Carandy was able to push her one step further away from the basket than she's used to been shooting. So a nice defensive play right there by an undersized post.
Carandy handing off to Addison at the other end. The teardrop, no, and Green corrals another rebound.
Now they're starting to double team her. Every time she puts the ball down into the paint, she's got to look for some three-point shooters on that penetration.
Pull up no good for Elliott. Right baseline jumper won't fall. Generals have it. Maybe a chance to push it here 3-on-3. Aaron Hughes will take it in on Allen, leans in and lays it up and in.
Drew a lot of contact right there. I know Allen was straight up, but a lot of contact, and Hughes was able to step through and get the ball up, used both hands, and shielded herself from the block shot.
Hughes with 11. We are tied at 51, just over 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Allen attacking on Hughes, spins off or goes to the left-handed, scores. Nice move.
That was a real nice move. She was able to gather herself, come back for the little left-handed baby hook, and catch the roll.
53-51 Lynchburg. Second basket for one of the Hornets seniors, Alex Allen. She and Molly Shepard, the only upperclassmen on the Hornet roster. Carandy is open, top of the key three. That won't go. And the rebound tap to Maggie Quarles. Long outlet out of the reach of Elliott. Another Lynchburg turnover as it goes out of bounds on the sideline.
And those are the turnovers that we've seen Lynchburg commit here during this game. They're able to catch the ball, but it's almost like they can't slow themselves down on the offensive end. They're playing so fast defensively that they're not able to slow themselves down and make that good outlet pass. The fortunate thing about that turnover, it's a dead ball turnover, so at least it allows them to come back and set up in the half-court defense.
2-point Hornet lead, 2:36 to go. And a double dribble at midcourt. Aaron Addison, just a lapse in concentration that time. And Washington and Lee turns it right back over.
And we talked about how confident she played there in the second quarter. We haven't seen that fire and that spark in her eye. She needs to get to the basket, maybe absorb some contact, get to the free throw line, and get that confidence back.
Allen gets it left elbow for the Hornets. Allen attacking on Carandy, another spin move, and another two dropping in for Allen.
And this time she did it from the right side. She's done the spin move to her left hand. She's done the spin move to the right hand. And when you've got a post player that can go either way inside, that's a dangerous weapon to have.
Lynchburg up 55-51. Addison, another blow by, gets to the rim, layup good. A late whistle and a foul as well.
And look at her out there now. She is fired up. Now she's back engaged in this basketball game, and that's what you want to see if you're rooting for Washington Elite. You want to see her get in there, absorb from contact, and kind of pop that chest out, be excited about being back in this basketball game. That's exactly what she needed, and the Generals needed as well.
Aaron Addison with 14 points in the game. Make it 15, hits the free throw to pull the Generals to within one. Sixth time she's been in double figures this year. Inside of 2 minutes left in the third. Davis against Addison. Gets into the lane, hands it off on the baseline to Allen. Allen going back in the paint, and then travels, switched her pivot feet in the paint.
Yeah, I think she traveled twice on that one. She traveled once when she tracked down the loose ball out here on the perimeter and then really never got control of the basketball. She was trying to get back in, it looked like, for another one of those spin moves inside.
Got her money's worth.
She did.
2 for the price of 1. Jordan Dill up top for the Generals, away to Megan Horn. WNL can regain the lead. Up 7 at halftime, but a big run for Lynchburg to begin the third period. Kate Groninger going right at Maggie Quarles and draws the foul. She'll shoot 2, and that'll be number 3 on Maggie Quarles, the third-team All-ODAC selection for Lynchburg.
And Quarles and Davis have been doing a much better job defensively of moving their feet and keeping the guards from Washington Lee from penetrating inside. But Groniger came in. She had a big three-pointer in the first half. Now she's come in, and this could be a huge couple of free throws here to allow Washington Lee to retake the lead.
First one is good to tie it up with 1:31 to play. Fourth point for Groniger, who averages 6.8 a game, the first year from Pittsburgh. A brief delay before the second as Carolyn Noe was tying the shoe. Second shot for Groniger up and in, 56-55, Washington and Lee.
Now here's a little full court pressure, try and pick up the tempo a little bit. Shepard needs a touch right now if you're the Hornets.
It's been a while since she had a significant look on the offensive end. Allen up top. They're trying to get it to Shepard, being guarded by Andy Smithy. Davis takes it down the lane and banks it in. Got a half step there on Addison. And Lynchburg back in front by one.
And a nice job right there. She used the defensive presence on Shepard. They were really looking for Shepard as well defensively in that part of the season. Aaliyah Davis to get to the backboard.
Smithy going right at Shepard, misses. Battle for the rebound. Jordan Deal grabs it. Kicks to Addison. Corner three is up. An air ball too strong that time. Quarles has it for the Hornets. 50 seconds left.
Yeah, she's feeling it here tonight, but probably wanted to pull that one out and reset the offense, especially with less than a minute to go in the period.
Lynchburg in possession, up by one. Allen across to Davis. Stops on the wing. Sends it out front to Noe. Noe off the dribble. Elbow jumper, no. Addison, the long rebound, wants to beat everybody down the floor. Two Hornets chasing. One of them fouls her. And who's that on? If it's Quarles, I believe it's four.
And she needed to get away right there. She should not have been anywhere near that basketball.
It is going to be the fourth personal on Maggie Quarles with 28 seconds left in the third period.
That is a killer right there. You don't want to ever compound a mistake with another mistake. And when you turn it over like that and allow a transition basket, you don't want to compound it by running down, make the turnover on one end, and then commit the foul on the other. And that was a disastrous foul for Lynchburg right there, because Quarles defensively has really turned it up here in the second half.
Addison missing the first, but making the second at the line. And we are tied at 57. 16 now for Aaron Addison.
And I'm really surprised that Coach Posick-Smith didn't go back with Kolb here in the third period. She had the good game against Washington and Lee earlier, and that size has bothered the Generals a little bit. She didn't go to the double post look like she has. She went to Allen instead.
Lynchburg has it, shot clock off, 13 seconds to go. Shepard inside, Allen, double team, lost the handle, got it back, and drew the foul.
She got bailed out right there because she was out of control. I don't know how much of a foul was committed right there. It looked like Hughes was straight up.
It's number 3 on Hughes, and Jordan Deal hit the deck hard during that sequence.
Yeah, Allen was trying that spin move, and she got her elbows into Deal, knocked her down, and then caromed right back into Hughes, and they called the foul on Aaron Hughes.
Alex Allen at the line for 2. First one is up and good. That's her 7th point tonight. Went over 500 points for her career. Came in with 499. This season averaging 7.4 points, 4.5 rebounds. And she puts the Hornets back in front with 8.4 seconds left in this third quarter. Second shot good as well, 59-57. One last look for the Generals. Taylor Casey stepping into a 3-ball, won't go. Hughes the rebound, and she's fouled with just 1 second remaining. That was on the way back up. Aaron Hughes will shoot a couple.
That was a bad defensive possession by the Hornets. They never stopped the basketball. They allowed Hughes to come down and jump stop for a clean look at a 21-foot three-pointer, which I was surprised she didn't knock down. And then the long shot led to the long rebound, and Hughes getting a chance to tie it up here as we go into the fourth.
It's the first, and some more foul trouble for Lynchburg in the backcourt. Quarles sitting with 4. That was the third on Lizzie Davis. Second shot for Hughes. Up and in, knotted up at 59. 1 second left for Lynchburg. Better well short on the three-quarter court heave, and we will head to the fourth period, all tied up in this last ODAC quarterfinal on Friday night. 59-all between third seed Washington and Lee and the number 6 seed Lynchburg with 10 minutes to go. Back for the final period in just a moment on WLUR, WLUR All Access, and ODAConline.com.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
10 minutes left to pick our final semifinalist here at the ODAC Women's Basketball Tournament. All tied up, 59 apiece between Washington and Lee and Lynchburg. And now Taylor Casey unties the game. Quick look in for Megan Horn, and she puts the Generals back in front just a few seconds into the fourth period.
That was a great set coming out of that quarter break right there. They went to a high 4 look and got Casey off of a screen, and she was able to get free all the way to the basket.
And the first points of the second half for the first-team All-ODAC selection, Erin Addison, chasing after a basketball at midcourt and leaping over press row and almost taking out the ODAC commissioner, Brad Bankston.
Yeah, Brad's got to do a better job. He could have caught her right there. I think he could have. I think he may have shied away a little bit with Addison come flying over the scores table like that.
Addison, Casey, Groninger, Hughes, and Horn for the Generals. Green, Noe, Davis, Shepard, and Brooke Vetter right now for the Hornets. Vetter has it on the perimeter. Almost had that pass out front swipe, but it made it through to Davis. Noe quick release on a contested 3, and she buries it over top of Casey.
And you really can't play any better defense than Taylor Casey did on that possession. She was able to come through that double screen, actually beat Noe to the spot, had a hand in her face, and Noe just buried the 3.
Lynchburg up 62-61, fourth trade tonight, 14 total points for Carolyn Noe. And Casey misses the jumper. Aaron Hughes, a big offensive rebound, and then gets tied up by Brooke Vetter. And it will go back the other way on the alternating possession.
Hughes did everything right there until the very end. She hustled in. She used her body to box out, keep the defensive players away, got the offensive rebound, and then she put it on the deck around the guard, and the guard was able to reach in and tie it up for the loose ball.
Hornets in possession, up by 1, 8:46 to play. Lizzie Davis down low, sneaks it inside. What a nice pass that is to Molly Shepard, who drops it in.
That was pretty, and when you're penetrating the basket and laying it up off the glass the way Davis is, you've got to stop that, and that's going to lead to some easy assist opportunities.
Not a good look for Aaron Hughes. A quick contested jump shot with nobody there for a potential offensive rebound. The Hornets have it up 3.
And they got lucky right there. Nobody was guarding Noe. She was wide open. They didn't see it on the offensive end.
Shepard looking inside for Green, but the ball knocked away by Horn, stolen by Addison.
Yeah, that has to be a lob right there.
Generals running 3-on-3. Addison misfires, and then Hughes over the back of Shepard. That will be her 4th personal.
Yeah, and that hurts right now because Hughes has been the energy here for Washington Lee in these last couple of possessions. She's done a good job of getting extra possessions on the offensive glass. She's doing a good job defensively, and now the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year is going to have to take a seat.
She does get in foul trouble from time to time. 12th time this season she's picked up at least 4 fouls. And she's fouled out of 5 games. 8 minutes left, 64-61.
I don't think she'll wait too long. If this gets to be a 6-7 point game, I think she's got to go right back with her.
Noe stops on the wing, hands it off to Davis. Shot clock at 10. Gets it to Shepard in the high post. Back to the basket. Hands off for Davis. Driving around. Jordan Deal lays it up. And what a second half Lizzie Davis has had.
She has taken over. Aaron Green, dominated on the interior in the first half. And now Davis with this penetration, whether she's getting it all the way to the basket or dropping it off for an assist, she's taken over.
Big drive and a bucket for Megan Horn, who takes it in from the top of the key. And that'll be followed by a Washington and Lee timeout.
That left-handed straight drive that she has, she doesn't even hesitate. She puts it on the floor, uses her size and her length to get it up off the glass and protect herself from the block shot.
7:27 to play. Lynchburg 66, Washington and Lee 63 on the day where we've already seen 2 overtime games. We've already watched the top 2 teams crash out of the tournament. Guilford and Emory and Henry both upset. The Quakers by Shenandoah and the Wasps by Roanoke. Looks like we're in for another thrilling finish.
Absolutely we are. You talked about 9 in a row for the Hornets. You hope right now that that's not creeping into the minds of some of these Washington Lee players.
I think you know it is, though.
Well, I think maybe some of the older ones, some of the younger ones, especially players like Addison and Horn, you're seeing them are having outstanding games. They're kind of putting their heads down and just playing basketball, and that's what you want to see right now. What you've got to be careful of, though, is with that enthusiasm of taking it to the basket, we've seen a couple of quick shots in the last couple of possessions, and the way Lynchburg can rebound, if they hold them to one and done and get it down in transition and pound them inside, all of a sudden Washington Lee could be looking it up at a 3 or 4 possession game.
Got to get some more looks for Taylor Casey. She has just 2 field goals since the first period tonight.
Well, and right now, especially, Davis has 3 fouls, Coral's on the bench with 4. She should be able to get some clean looks. I'd love to see Addison have her penetrate and have Casey on the same side of the floor, maybe a penetration and dish out for a nice 3.
Lynchburg up by 3. Hornets have the basketball. Generals have switched into a bit of a zone here, it looks like. Shepard up top for the Hornets, 11 to shoot. Back to Davis on the wing. Davis attacking. Gets it to Green. Kick to Shepard, who tries the 3. That's no good. And we've got a Lynchburg foul on the rebound.
A nice job right there. You'll take that all day long. Molly Shepard shooting 23-foot jump shots. You'll take that if you're Washington Lee. That was a nice defensive possession, but you don't finish the defensive possession until you box out, and that's what Horn did right there to draw that foul.
First of the quarter on Lynchburg. 3-point game, 6:54 to go. Jordan Deal up top for the Generals. Deal handing off to Megan Horn. Horn has Green on her on the switch. Hits the cutting Smithy. Smithy back to Horn. Corner 3 is up. Green got a piece of it. And Lizzie Davis with the rebound.
That was wide open. Smithy didn't see it until too late and allowed Green to recover.
A traveling call on Davis at the other end. So it'll go right back to the Generals, 66-63. Lynchburg leads it, 6:32 left.
And Deal did a nice job that time holding her ground. She didn't initiate the contact, and then Davis traveled with the basketball. Nice defensive stop. That's what they needed. But right now, you got to see Casey come off of a screen or some kind of penetration and dish.
Aaron Addison from the corner, driving baseline, gets to the rim and scores again.
And that's the mismatch. I mean, that's the one you have to go with. Or whether it's Horn on the left side of the floor taking it in with that left hand, protecting herself from the shot block, or whether it's Addison getting it inside.
18 for Aaron Addison in her first postseason game. Generals back within 1. Under 6 to play here in Salem. Comes inside, Shepard leans around Deal and drops it home.
And that's hard. I don't think Deal can play the senior inside like that one-on-one without some kind of help coming from the weak side.
Molly Shepard now with 15. Smithy from the corner, away to Addison, got right by her defender again. A career-high 20 for Addison, 68-67 Hornets.
I can tell you right now, you cannot trail her. If you trail her, she's too quick. She's beating them to every spot. And right there was a little thin seam. She just shot through 2 post players right to the basket like she was out of a cannon.
Well, Green, nifty little pass inside to Shepard, who rolls off Deal and lays it up and in again.
Yeah, Smithy's going to have to guard her. If they're going to keep Green on the perimeter, they're going to do this switch Deal and Smithy and put Smithy on the post player inside, no matter which one it is.
Taylor Casey on the wing, trading buckets right now. 3-point Lynchburg lead. 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Megan Horn up top, picks up her dribble, comes to Deal, 10 to shoot. Away to Smithy at the elbow. Smithy will fire up the jumper and knock it down.
And good for her. They've been daring her to take that shot all night long, and they're not going to close out to you and respect you until you knock down that 16-footer.
Her first point since the opening minutes of the game, 70-69. Shepard hands off to Vetter. Away to Davis, who will take it down the lane again. And Davis, layup no this time, but a foul will, I believe, put her at the charity stripe.
Yeah, she was able to get Addison on her left hip, and she just took her all the way to the basket. Casey wasn't able to draw the charge because she was inside that arc area underneath the basket.
Lizzie Davis has scored 12 of her 16 here in the second half. 2 of 2 at the foul line. Misses the first one here. Her career high is 17, and that came in the home win over W&L back in January. Another chance to tie that here and put the Hornets up 2 with 4:31 to play. Missed them both, though. The rebound to Deal, and then a foul on Alex Allen.
Nice job by Deal. She used her body. She boxed out. She kept the defender on her back, and the only way the defender could get to the ball was to come over the top. Now Maggie Quarles is back on the floor with those 4 fouls. I'd see who she has on her, and I might play a little one-on-one right here.
Megan Horn, whom she's defending. Horn tries to throw it into the perimeter. It's deflected out to Addison, who almost knocked down a 3-ball, but it rims out the Hornets with the rebound.
And if she had knocked it down, we wouldn't be surprised with the game she's having here tonight.
1 point Lynchburg lead, 4:06 left. Allen, left side, Davis, open look at 3, won't go. Horn grabs the rebound for the Generals, but then gets tied up by Aaron Green. Washington and Lee will keep it on the arrow, and now Aaron Hughes will check back in the game.
That's okay. You had possession. You had the possession arrow in your favor. You want to secure that rebound. She tied in the loop and picked up the jump ball. It could have very easily been a reach in and a reach in foul. So good job right there of securing the possession, and now see if they can retake the lead.
70-69 our score. Deal in the high post. Squares to the rim, trying to drive around Green. Layup, no. Rebound to Green.
Yeah, I think she would have been her off. She looked around. She was going to take that same 16-footer that Smithy just made. They gave it to her. Instead, she drove right into the teeth of that shot-blocking defense.
Brooke Vetter for Lynchburg out front to Quarles. Lob into the corner to Noe. Back to Quarles. 12 on the shot clock. Quarles ahead to Green, right elbow. Green with her back to the basket, hands it off to Vetter, has her 3-point shot blocked by Horn. Aaron Addison grabs the loose ball, and then a touchdown saving tackle as Megan Horn was ahead of the pack waiting for a pass, but that will be number 5 on Maggie Quarles.
And she protected the lead at this point, but right now we're going to see if Lynchburg can go the rest of the way and pull off this upset without their all-conference guard.
Maggie Quarles did not score in this game. The sophomore from Lord Botetourt High School disqualified, 3:19 to play, and Lynchburg up 70-69. Taylor Casey, bounce pass ahead to Smithy. Smithy back to Casey. Casey off the shot fake, it's to the rim, layup all the way around. The iron will not fall.
And when you've got that shot blocker come up, it's just so hard. Casey had a clean look at it, but it's so hard not to have that shot altered by that size.
Davis a miss down low, but on the weak side, Alex Allen waiting for it. Her putback puts Lynchburg up by 3.
And if you can teach your post players to do it, and actually the best post player in the league at it is Charlotte Woods from Randolph-Macon. On the penetration, get to that weak side, you're going to have some easy stickbacks.
Andy Smithy misses the layup, battling for the rebound, got it back, and got the whistle. She'll shoot 2.
Nice job. In between 4 Lynchburg players, that was just all hustle and heart right there by Smithy. She would not be denied. Getting that offensive rebound and getting the shot up towards the basket.
First personal on Green, and some big free throws for Andy Smithy. 2:38 to go. Andy Smithy's first is up and good. She had scored in double figures in 12 straight games before getting hurt at the beginning of February. Only played 12 minutes against Ferrum in the regular season finale on Saturday, and that's her 7th point of the ODAC quarterfinal. Number 8 right behind it. She knocks them both down, and once again, it's a 1-point Lynchburg lead.
Lynchburg, they've been able to keep this lead with Molly Shepard over on the bench, but now Coach Posnick-Smith's going to put her back in. You want to get your senior all-conference player back on the floor for the final minute or so.
Davis pass inside, intended for Green, poked out by Smithy. That will allow Shepard to come back on the floor. 2:26 left in the game. Shot clock at 18 for the Hornets, up 72-71.
Now, if I'm Lynchburg, I want to go high-low. You've got Davis can come off of that high screen and try and penetrate. You can go post-to-post high-low, and you've got Noe, a 3-point shooter out there as well.
Green inside to Shepard. She misses the layup. Brooke Vetter grabbed the rebound. The shot clock did not reset. The attempt did not hit the rim. 7 seconds left.
Davis, she needs to go one-on-one here. Instead, Noe going to launch a 3 with a hand in her face. No good.
And Smithy, the long rebound. Another chance for the Generals to regain the lead as we're about to hit the 2-minute mark here in Salem. Aaron Hughes on the right side. Guarded loosely by Shepard. Away to Smithy. Drives by Green, draws another foul, and Andy Smithy going right back to the free throw line.
And that's what happened. She hit that 16-footer, and now when she faked that shot, the defender had to lunge at her, had to close out, and that allowed her to blow by Green and do what she did on those first 2 possessions of the game, which is get her body into the shot blocker and pick up the foul or the hoop.
First free throw good for Andy Smithy. The second one she'll have some time to think about because Abby Posnick-Smith has called a timeout, tied at 72 with 1:54 to go in the fourth period. What a fitting way to end this zany day here at the ODAC quarterfinals.
Well, it was really interesting because Coach Clancy made a move there. She took Taylor Casey, her all-conference player, out of the game to put Deal in a little bit more size because of how well the two first years, Horn and Addison, have been playing with the ball in their hands. It's a luxury when you can put your first-team all-conference player on the bench in such a close game.
One more free throw, a chance for Andy Smithy to put the Generals in front with 1:54 to go. ODAC semifinal spot opposite the number 7 seed Roanoke on the line. The Maroons a 1-point upset win over the number 2 seed Emory and Henry earlier this evening. Smithy 4 for 4 at the foul line down the stretch here. 73-72 WNL.
Now Lynchburg's got to get a clean look on the interior to try and get this lead back.
Errant pass, but then a Washington Lee foul in the loose ball scramble. Shepard was about to track it down. That'll be the third on Addison. Just the third team foul. The Generals had a couple to give. That'll reset the 30-second clock for Lynchburg with 1:45 to play. Ball put into Davis, who sent the Monsters second half. Davis ahead to Green, still out on the perimeter. Skip across to Vetter. Back to Davis inside, looking for Shepard, and Aaron Hughes, the ODAC Defensive Player of the Year, knocks it away. Generals have it.
Great defense. She kind of played possum there. She let herself be pinned, and then right at the last second, she was able to roll off of the weak side, come up underneath, jump the passing lane, and knock it away.
73-72, $1:18 to go. Smithy on the right side, looking for Hughes, knocked away. Smithy gets it back, hands off to Addison. 7 on the shot clock. Addison overthrows the lob for Hughes, but it's off the fingertips of Vetter, who took a spill. Generals will keep it. The shot clock is at 4.
She was really lucky right there. That was a bad pass. The help side, Vetter read that all the way. She was there for the help side. She just did everything but secure the ball.
1:08 to go in a 1-point game. Megan Horn, the inbounder on the baseline. Gets it into Smithy under the rim, trying to post up on Shepard, and she traveled, took steps. The turnover was not an unlikely scenario in some way there, and Lynchburg gets it back with 1:06 left.
But I'd rather have a turnover right there than a bad shot leading to a transition opportunity. You've been playing really good half-court defense. Go here, set up, and see if you can get a stop heading into the last minute.
We are in that final minute now. 53 seconds left inside. Shepard got around Hughes. Her layup puts Lynchburg up 74-73.
Nice job. Now you've got Horn and Addison out here. See if somebody can penetrate, get it inside, maybe Hughes to the basket. But I wouldn't hesitate going to Smithy at the high post.
Here's Addison. Gets it to Smithy up top, and now a timeout taken by Christine Clancy. 38.9 seconds to go. Lynchburg up 74-73. 17 on the shot clock. What's the play call?
Well, first of all, do you think she'll put Taylor Casey back in the game? I mean, right now it doesn't look like she has, so you're going to go with those first-year guards. I like what Smithy's been able to do at the high post. You can get it to her very easily at the high post. She's buried that jump shot. I think you get it to her at the high post, see if she can shot fake, maybe get inside and then kick it out for a shot. Or if she shot fakes and the defender doesn't go with it, you go right back up top to Addison, play a little screen and roll, see if she can get the ball to the basket.
Here in Addison in this game, a career-high 20 points. Megan Horn right behind her with 16 unofficially. Those two will be out there with Smithy, Deal, and Hughes. 17 on the shot clock, game clock at 38.9. Generals ball, Lynchburg up 74-73. Into Addison, away to Megan Horn. Horn will lob it inside to Smithy on the cut. Layup good with 30 seconds left. Washington and Lee with the lead, and Lynchburg will get the immediate timeout to advance the ball.
Nice job right there. Smithy's had such a good game, and she's been able to finish inside. She's not scared of getting her shot blocked. A nice job right there of playing some two-player game and being able to get that post player open inside.
Andy Smithy with 8 points in this fourth period, 12 in the ball game for the third team All-ODAC selection. 75-74 Generals, 30.3 seconds to go. So the shot clock is still on here, really a non-factor. The question is, how soon does Lynchburg want to go, because you want to give yourself a chance for an offensive rebound on a miss?
Well, I think right now you go as soon as possible because the way they play, I would not be surprised if you're going to see high-low action and try and get Shepard on that low post. If you can get her isolated on somebody besides Smithy, you pull Smithy out to the high post and you play your high-low inside game, because because then if you miss it, you can go ahead and foul, and then still, if Washington Lee makes 2 free throws, you've still got you're only totally a 1-possession game, and you've got a good 3-point shooter in Noe. So I'm going to go high-low right here, see if I can get the ball to Shepard, and see if Washington Lee can guard her one-on-one.
Defending for the Generals, the same 5 that were on the floor for the go-ahead possession moments ago. That's Horn, Smithy, Addison, Hughes, and Deal. Playing offense for Lynchburg will be Vetter, Davis, Shepard, Green, and Noe. 1-point Generals lead, 30.3 seconds left. Lynchburg ball at midcourt.
And here you got Smithy out at the high post. They're isolating Shepard on the interior.
Inside looking for Shepard. The Generals reached in for the tie-up, or was there a timeout first? Either way, it's going to be Lynchburg ball. The Hornets had the arrow. It looks like they may have granted the timeout before a held ball, and that is indeed the case.
I think they did grant the timeout, but I don't like that play right there. You're going from the wing in. That allows Smithy to double down from the high. It allows your Hughes, who's your best defensive player, the best defensive player in the league, one-on-one on Shepard, and it allows help side to come from the back end. If you do it from the top, there can be no help side coming from anywhere except for straight down, and then there's no way they can get there fast enough. You want to make this play an up and in from post to post, and that's going to give Shepard an easier chance to secure the ball and see if she can go one-on-one against Hughes.
We're down to 26.2 seconds remaining. Washington and Lee up 1. Lynchburg ball on the baseline. Lob in for Green. Gets it away to Noe. Inside Shepard, double team. Ball knocked away and grabbed by Andy Smithy. And the Generals get the quick timeout. Washington and Lee with the takeaway. Up by a point with 20 seconds to go.
And you got exactly what you wanted. Instead of a post-to-post pass, it was a guard-to-post, but it was that straight entry pass. Shepard just wasn't able to handle the ball. The collapse came, and Washington Lee with a great defensive stop.
The 21st Lynchburg turnover of the night. And now the Generals, if they can hang on to the basketball, got to take care of it. Washington and Lee, 15 of 16 at the free throw line tonight. None of those 16 as pressure-packed as the ones we'll see if the Generals don't turn it over, if Lynchburg has to give the foul.
Well, right now, if Deal and Smithy are in the game, you want to ideally foul one of those 2 players. Those are 2 of the, if you want to say weaker free throw shooters, they're still both over 60%. So 2 pretty good free throw shooters, but weaker than the other free throw shooters you have. So if one of them can have the basketball, you want to go ahead and get the foul on them. The thing with this is, if they're going to advance the basketball, so that's going to take away any type of full court pressure, and it takes the 10-second count out of play. So you're really going to have to foul as soon as the ball gets inside, and this is a great move. You take your weakest free throw shooter and have them trigger the ball on the out of bounds.
And now Taylor Casey, who's among the nation's leaders in free throw percentage, is back on the floor for the Generals. 75-74. WNL 20 seconds to go. Deal inbounding from midcourt, and they go right into Casey, and that is whom the Hornets will foul.
And see, I wouldn't have done that there. When she's going back towards the midcourt line, she's bringing another defender into play, and that's that backcourt line. I would have gone for a quick double team there, get the ball out of Casey's hands, or maybe get a turnover and then foul.
Taylor Casey at the free throw line, missing the first. She was 90 of 100 coming in. That's her first attempt of the night, so the best she could do is make it a 2-point game. 18.2 seconds left.
And Lynchburg's going to take their last timeout. So
Second one good. And there is the timeout, 76-74. Now the Hornets get to save some clock by advancing the basketball with a timeout. All things considered for Lynchburg, they had to foul Casey. Splits the pair, so now you just need a 2.
Well, Casey spent a lot of time. We talked about it. She spent a lot of time over there on the bench. So she came in cold, wasn't able to be in the flow of the game, wasn't able to knock down 2 free throws, but it's still a 1-possession game. What I would go to here is you've tried your high-low look, and Washington Lee knows that's what you want to run right here, right? I know it, you know it, everybody in the gym knows it. What I might look to do here is to kind of go to a high 4 look, bring both post players up high, see if Davis can penetrate, and then hit one of those post players diving to the basket.
2-point Washington and Lee advantage, 18.2 seconds left. Hughes, Deal, Smithy, Addison, and Horn defending Davis, Shepard, Green, Vetter, and Noe. And another deflection, but the ball bounces right back to Noe. Ahead to Shepard, 13 left. Shepard down the lane, way too strong on the layup. Rebounded by Smithy, who's fouled with 9.9 seconds to go. The Hornets could not have asked for a better look. A driving layup from Ollie Shepard, and she clanged it off the backboard.
She was too wide open. I don't think she realized how open she was until she picked up her dribble a little too soon, didn't want to walk with the basketball. She would have taken one more dribble. She could have come to a jump stop and just laid it in with nobody around. She picked up the dribble a little too soon, and now Smithy a chance to ice this here.
And that was the 5th foul on Lizzie Davis, who's had the brilliant second half. Finishes with 16 points. Free throws for Andy Smithy, who's 4 of 4 at the line in this period. First one here is up, no good. So it will remain a one-possession game, make or miss on the second shot.
And you got to guard Noe here. If she makes this as a 3-possession game, Noe's the best 3-point shooter. She's going to have the basketball. Somebody's going to set a ball screen for her to see if she can get a clean look.
Here she goes. It's an illegal screen on Molly Shepard, trying to free up Noe with just 5.7 seconds left. It will be Washington and Lee basketball up 77-74.
And I'm sorry, I know it was a violent collision right there. I don't like the call. Shepard was still, she was sitting in a position where she wasn't really moving. Smithy turned as fast as she could and took a real hard step, ran right into Shepard. I think it's a no call, and you let them solve it, finish this game out here on the court.
Generals get it right back into Casey, fouled with 4.1 to go. And if she makes one of these two, you have to think that Washington and Lee is moving on to the semifinals.
And it's been a great basketball game, and Casey now has a chance to come in here, just make the first one. Make the first one. You know this game's over. You can breathe a sigh of relief. What you don't want to see is her miss this first free throw and have a lot of pressure on the second.
First one is up and rolls in for Taylor Casey, a 4-point lead for Washington and Lee. Second one good as well. Taylor Casey has not missed more than one free throw in a game all season long. She makes the two here. It's 79-74. 4.1 seconds left. Lynchburg out of timeouts.
Now if you're Washington Lee, don't get within 5 feet of anybody in a black uniform.
Here's Noe, pulls up for the long three. It's good, and it will count at the buzzer, but it won't impact the outcome. Washington and Lee solves the Lynchburg riddle, and the Generals make it to the ODAC semifinals with a 79-77 win.
We talked about in the opening, it's really tough to beat a good team 3 times in a season. When you're able to see a team that many times, you're able to come up with some changes and some adjustments that you can make. And one of the big adjustments we saw today was the ability of Addison to take it to the basket, as well as Horn being able to take it to the basket, eliminate some of that size for Lynchburg. And when Davis and Quarles fouled out, it really left Lynchburg in a bind there in the backcourt.
A couple of quick thoughts on this game before we say farewell to our viewers on ODAConline.com. First up for Lynchburg, a 13-13 season. It breaks a nice string of winning campaigns for Abby Posnick-Smith. Always going to be a rebuilding year, though. We talked about the Hornets roster composition, just the 2 seniors. Granted, one of the all-time greats for the Hornets in Molly Shepard. Everybody else an underclassmen, 76% of the minutes this season from first years and sophomores. And we saw Erin Green with a great first half, Lizzie Davis with a big second half. The future continues to be bright for Abby Posnick-Smith's team.
Well, and it's the double-edged swords of having success, right? You've had success, and you have a group of players that you had that success with, and Lynchburg had that for 4 years. And now Shepard and Allen are going to be gone, so now you're kind of turning the page to a new chapter, and these young players got a lot of great experience this year. You saw here in this game today, Erin Green is going to be the next in the long line of really good Lynchburg post players. Lizzie Davis, Quarles is all conference. The future's really bright. They also had a couple of players that weren't able to play this season due to injuries that are going to be really good players for them moving forward. So like we talked about in the beginning, a really young team with a bright future. But hey, they had a nice season. I mean, 13-13 when you're in the quote-unquote rebuilding year, I think you'll take that every time.
Meanwhile, this very young Washington and Lee team is now 18-8, has a chance to tie the school record for victories tomorrow night and advance to the second ODAC championship game in program history when the Generals take on Roanoke.
And it's funny, today we had a game of 2 really young teams. Tomorrow night we're going to have a game of 2 really good young teams. Washington Lee and Roanoke both stocked full of really good young players, and Washington Lee did something today that you really like to see as a coach. They won this game without their best player at their best, so you fully expect Taylor Casey to have a big game tomorrow night, and now all these young players have a lot of experience, so I think tomorrow night we're in for a really good one.
79-77, Washington and Lee. Semifinals are set for both the men's and women's tournaments. On the men's side at 1 o'clock tomorrow, top seed Randolph-Macon against the number 5 seed Washington and Lee. And then we'll have a 2-3 matchup, Guilford and Roanoke. And then the women's semifinals start at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Number 8 Shenandoah, the first 8 seed to ever beat a 1 in the ODAC women's tournament. The Hornets will take on number 4 Randolph-Macon, and then WNL and Roanoke to follow at approximately 8 o'clock. The semifinals are going to have a lot to live up to after what we saw today.
But I think they will. I think both on the men's and the women's side. The men, you've got more chalk. You've got more higher seeds that have advanced, and that's what you saw throughout the season in ODAC men's basketball. So going to be 2 really good men's semifinals. And then you're looking at a situation where you've kind of got some of the old guard. Randolph-Macon is still here, even though they don't have their premier player, Kelly Williams. They've still got a really good, solid core of players, especially up front. You've got an upstart Shenandoah team, and then you've got 2 really good, young, exciting teams that actually, of the first 8 games we've seen this tournament, the best 2 games have been the last 2 games, the Roanoke game and now Washington and Lee, and they'll get to be the premier kind of primetime matchup tomorrow night.
So you can watch all 4 of the semifinals, the 2 men's games, the 2 women's contests on ODAConline.com starting at 1 o'clock on Saturday. We'll say so long on ODAConline.com. Stay with us if you're listening on WLUR Lexington and WLUR All Access. Back for a couple of final words in just a moment. Richie Wagner, Jeremy Franklin with you courtside here in Salem. Washington and Lee wins it 79-77 over Lynchburg.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off.
We'd do anything for kids, yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
79-77 Washington and Lee on top of Lynchburg. That's the final score in the ODAC women's basketball quarterfinals here in Salem. Tonight's broadcast of Generals basketball has been brought to you in part by the Washington and Lee University store. Celebrate your favorite Generals team with a sports tee, decal, or hat. If you can think of it, the University store probably has it. The store is open 7 days a week. It is owned and operated by WNL. All proceeds go back to the Washington and Lee community, helping to fund athletic alumni and student programs. Order online anytime at store.wlu.edu and follow the store on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive online promotions. Go Generals. 5 players in double figures for both teams tonight. Molly Shepard led Lynchburg with 19. Carol Inouye had 17. Lizzie Davis, 16 points and 6 assists. Double-double for Aaron Green, 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 blocks, but no one else scored for the Hornets. On the Generals side, Aaron Addison, a career-high 20 to go along with 4 assists and 3 steals. 16 points, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals for Megan Horn. 13 points apiece for Andy Smithy and Aaron Hughes. 12 for Taylor Casey. 5 points for Kate Groninger. Jordan Deal did not score, but grabbed a team-best 7 rebounds in the game here tonight. So the Generals get to 18-8. They will take on Roanoke for the 3rd time this season. The 2 teams split during the regular season. WNL won across town at the Kreger Center back in November, right before Thanksgiving, 79-65, but the Maroons returned the favor at the Duchess Watt Tennis Center just a couple of weeks later, 66-49. The road team has had a big advantage in that series in recent years, and now we'll see the Generals and the Maroons battle on a neutral floor. That is at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Rest of the coverage this week on ODAConline.com. Richie Wagner and I will be back with you for the women's semifinals tomorrow night. Before WNL and Roanoke, we'll see Shenandoah and Randolph-Macon. It has been a wonderful day of basketball here at the ODAC Women's Tournament. Top 2 seeds out, 2 overtime games. The other 2 games decided by 1 point and 2 points. Have not seen a more competitive set of quarterfinals all the way across the board in the 12 years that I've been covering this championship event. Looking forward to the rest of the weekend and hope you'll join us for the videocast on ODAConline.com. For now, Jeremy Franklin saying so long from the Salem Civic Center. Thanks to Andy McEnroe and First Team Broadcasting and to Jeremy Apsu back in the WLUR studio. Washington and Lee breaks a 9-game losing streak against Lynchburg. The Generals moving on to the ODAC semifinals. They beat the Hornets 79-77.